All right, now that we are completely set up on eBay, I want to go over one thing that eBay is going to do to all new sellers. It's going to be a very quick video, and this is regarding selling limits. When you are on eBay as a new seller, you are limited to the amount of items and the total amount of money you are allowed to sell for the first month. It's different for everybody. There's really no rhyme or reason, but most people are limited to 10 items and $500, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. You can list 10 items. If you sell one, that total is still 10. You have 9 active and 1 sold. Your total actives and solds can be 10, and also $500. So if one item is $4.90, the rest can't be, they have to be $1 or whatever each. You can't have a $490 item and the rest, go over 500. Once that total, it's either and or. If your first item is 490 and your second item is 20, they're gonna stop you. You can't even get to 10 items, if that makes sense. So there's always selling limits when you start. After 30 days, if you keep good history, good feedback, and good shipping, you can call eBay and they will increase it. Typically on the second one, they might give you like 50 items and $1,000, or 100 items and $1,000, or $2,500. They'll bump you up significantly, and you can call one time every 30 days. Typically after the second and the third month, your limits will be higher than what you can use. Recently, I had a gentleman whose second set of limits was 100 items and $2,500. After 60 days, his second bump up went to 1,000 items and $10,000. He couldn't even get to that, and by the fourth month, his limits were up to 10,000 items and $100,000 per month. So you can see you just got to build up for the first month or 2, maybe 3 months, and your limit should be high enough that you will not be limited anymore. Hopefully up in the corner of this video, you'll see I did a zoom in and a screenshot showing limits and where you'll be able to see them on the eBay website. I'll have a little screenshot of that as well. So just be aware that you do have limits when you start eBay and that you will slowly have to build the account up for the first at least usually 60 days up to 90 days. Now, one thing I will add to that, by getting an eBay store, which we're going to talk about shortly, the eBay store gives you, say, 200, depending on the store that you get. Let's say you get the 250 free listings. This does not offset the limit. The eBay store is just giving you a free amount of listings. You cannot bypass that limit. If your limit is 100 items and $2,500, just because your store gives you 250 free listings, you'll get those 100 for free as you list them, but you still will not be able to go over 100 until your limits are raised. That is selling limits on eBay. The store listings and free listings is totally different. So please don't confuse those two, but we'll talk about the eBay store in a future video down further in this course. On this My eBay Seller Hub page, to the right-hand side, about halfway down, it says monthly limits. Now mine currently stands at a $1 billion limit because they've just basically given me infinite because of my history. However, yours might start at 5 items or 10 items or 50 items, maybe $500, $1,000, $10,000. Now, if you reach these limits and it has not been 30 days since you started, you'll need to wait 30 days until you can request to list more or call eBay to request to list more. You can have these limits raised once per month. eBay will typically double your current limits until you get to a certain point where they'll just allow you to list as much as you want. This is the eBay monthly selling limits.